How are we all doing? It's Henry here once again. I am going to be playing some 200 Zoom. Just going to do the usual here. In this spot I will call. I believe the under the gun player is, despite a regular, has some clear leaks in its game, and the players behind look very weak, just based on stat depths. I don't expect anyone that's quite competent to be playing with 84.7 and 62 big blinds at 200 Zoom, unless there may be some kind of professional, I don't know, short stacker, but you generally would then get to know them, recognise them, see them, etc. I'm going to call here with the queen high flush draw. Don't want to raise, it's not nutted. Maybe I could king high flush draw, we could. Going to go ahead and 3-bet here with the pocket kings, and against a 4-bet I'm going to put the money in. Versus this check, I'm probably going to see if I've got any reads on him based on HUD, my notes, but I am now going to stab half pot on the turn. I would probably be doing this with most of my range, just due to the fact that I think the check-king range is generally pretty weak here. Kings, I'm going to bet my range for 1/3 pot here. Ace-queen, pretty easy call. And queen-8, I'm now going to bet 66% value range. And then as far as bluffs, I'm going to have like backdoor hearts. I'm going to, if I stab aggressively for half pot on the turn, I can definitely turn some 1-pairs into a bluff here, if I want to look correctly. Someone's asking for recording. You'll have to wait and see. Either way, I believe this is a pretty clear check call. Don't want to raise and get jammed on. Don't want to raise call, raise fold. We have 2-O's backdoor flush draw. The ace queen are probably live, and we could still be ahead against like king jack of clubs. Turn, however, is terrible. It's also a card that should be bluffed significantly less due to the fact that we're going to have a lot more hands that connect on this. River's really weird. I think, however, we just have to bluff here. He could definitely have some 1-pairs, but I just think this is a good spot. He's going to have a lot of weak 1-pairs. I'm going to go ahead and half pot, try and get him off a lot of 1-pair hands here. I think this is good. He's going to call me with some 1-pairs, but when I bet half pot here, I can also be betting very thin for value, probably 2-pair plus. Going to check raise here with a set. I'm going to continue to barrel off. He could have king jack, jack 8, but however, when I check, I assume he's going to stab overly aggressively, being a weaker player, and I also just think we're ahead of so many hands. Going to continue on the turn. When he snap calls flop, I assume he has mostly hands like king queen, 1-pair hands, pair and gut shot, pair and draw type hands. King turn, I'm going to flat here. We have 2 weaker players behind. I want to keep them in. Ace 8 against 2.08 big blinds. It's going to be moderately close. Really don't know. I'm going to peel it just and fold if he went to 2.2 to plus, but I could be wrong. Kings, I'm going to continue to check. I don't see too much merit in betting. You could actually check call and then check contemplate river. Once this has done this, I think we have a value bet. Going to raise here. We have the ace of spades. Going to check back the king 10 of hearts with no backdoors. And here we're just going to bet and try and extract value from a worse 1-pair. That's fine. We would always be losing 1 street here to ace 5. And if anything, we do pretty well not to put in 2 streets of value and only put in a half pot bet once post flop. I'm not looking to barrel the ace 10 here. I think 3s could actually be a flat here. This isn't normally a thing, but it looks like we have potentially some weaker spots at the table. 3s, I'm going to defend against the 3-bet. An ace 10. I think I'm going to go ahead and reopen the action up as a bluff. He is going to have plenty of 4x, but he's also going to have plenty a lot of weak 1-pair hands here. 3's a call. I'm not sure if I want to bluff here with the ace 10. He's got a lot of 4x, river 2-pair. I don't think this is a really good hotspot. It's just close. I'm going to give up here. It just sort of feels like a situation where, and here we're going to have to re-bluff. Why? Because we have 3 high on an 8s and 7s board. He's going to have a lot of overcards and pairs, so maybe we should just be exploit giving up. This is probably bad. My thought process was, basically we have 3 high on a paired board with bottom of range. But in reality, the issue is when he check calls the flop, check, and then checks river, he's surely always going to have either an 8, a 7, pocket and 6s plus, and ace highs, and none of those are going to be perceived to check fold the river. So I think this is a bad bluff. Personally, I enjoy giving up with the ace 10. When we've bet small on the flop, check the turn and get here. Despite being low in our range, we just haven't really got much going for us. Here we can do a lot of things. I'm just going to shove the money in. We have ace king. I was going to check raise ace jack here. However, against the bigger bet size, I'm not really too sure. I think we can still just sort of check raise. We have backdoor flush and straight draws, and we do have a pretty strong hand when we pick up equity on those backdoors, and we can also check raise them off maybe like a 6 or pocket 7s. On this turn, I'm going to bet 40, 50, 70, 80. I'm going to bet half pot here and probably look to try and check down river a lot of the time against maybe like a 10. I think now we actually just have a value shove. My reasoning for this is he could have a beat, however, he could easily have here like a 10, maybe some, I'm basically trying to target here a 10. We either check call against 7, 8, 8, 9 and spades, or we bet against a 10. I think this is very close. I'm going to just try and hope he has like ace 10 in this line here. Wow, I did not have that in his range. Okay, so realistically we open here pre-flop, cut off flats, and the other player calls. So just based on that element in itself, aces, kings, queens should never be in his range at any frequency if he's playing just a normal 3-bet strategy pre-flop. At least based on how people normally play. So I just assume when we then get post-flop and it goes bet, check, bet, raise, call, bet, call, and we get to this river, I'm just going to make an assumption that if aces and queens are in his range at 0% frequency or close to, jacks here is pretty close. We could flat and keep the weaker player in, which I don't mind, but we do need protection against overs. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make a raise here. Or shove it again. It's just an awkward spot to basically 4-bet fold when he's gone to 13.5. We can just be calling as well. Did not expect that to happen. Running in some pretty crazy spots here. Don't understand how he has kings here or he has kings here. Either way, if the hand played out any differently whatsoever, it would have played the same way. For example, if it went open 3-bet pre, I would have called, and then obviously the money would have gone in post-flop. Similarly, if he 3-bets here, I would have been putting the money in pre-flop or calling, and then it could have been closed post-flop. Pretty crazy to be waking up against kings in both of those situations, given the pre-flop lines that had been taken. Honestly, quite shocking, but sometimes there is variance in poker. Gonna make a loose 3-bet here. And I'm also going to now make sure I take some detailed notes on these guys. I'm happy with my play and my analysis, and that's what's important. The only thing is if I then play another pot against him in the future, obviously because of what just happened, you then are going to utilize that information to rebalance out a strategy. I think we just have to peel here. It's pretty small with one pair. I'm not loving it, but I think this is just too small to be folding this type of hand. This is going to get really close on the turn because I do have reads specific on this player. This would be a fold if he's not aggressive, but it depends on if he's very volatile and very spewy. Capable of... Yeah, so to me this is a pretty clear call and probably calling decent amount of rivers. And that's basically due to hand histories I've played against this player in the past. Ace 10, 10, 9 and diamonds will get there, but he's a very volatile player, so... However, this is obviously terrible. If the river was non-diamond, or a king or a jack, obviously going to snap call all day. This is still actually really close against this player. 2-2. I'm still folding here. Despite the fact that I think he's incredibly aggressive and could show up here with any two cards. I'm just not, even if he is doing it with any two cards, if he's got a hand here like pocket twos with a diamond, which I think is extremely likely, that still makes a flush on the river. So, and even if he's bluffing here with a hand like pocket sixes, if he has sixes with a diamond, he still beats me. So I even lose here technically to bluffs. So kings here, we can do a lot of things. I'm going to flat this time. So pretty easy continue on this flop texture. And gonna bet if he checks. If he puts the money in, we put the money in. We obviously can have value here. We can obviously have bluffs. It should be pretty simple to work out. Bluffs can obviously be anything from Jack 10, 10, 9 to clubs, to peeled ace highs potentially. Interesting hand for sure. Winning one, buying back's always nice.